And welcome back to Dragon Ball Z. What if? Dragon, rock the dragon. Ko didn't love that intro. I was like, dragon, rock the dragon. But yeah, so part 6 of What If Bardock went to King Kai's after he died. So there was a lot of kind of debate about doing in the 7-year time skip because we're now past Cell. Androids are doing their own thing. I did mention that Krillin would get married to 18, and that's all well and good. But, yawning a lot. But, what else would happen? Well, one of the things I considered doing was having Vegeta come back. At this point, he probably would have Ascended Saiyan, maybe even Super Saiyan 2 at this point. Well, not Ascended Saiyan is kind of what they referred to it as, but like a perfected Super Saiyan. But he's as prideful, as boastful, and as egotistical as he is. He's also not stupid. He's not going to go to a planet where there's at least 3 Super Saiyans on it, because he's sure Goku would have had it. He's sure Radz would have had it, despite he knows Bardock has it. Oh, God, yawning. And plus, they have not been bothering him at all, so he's just running King Cold's empire at this point. So I couldn't see bringing Vegeta back. Power-wise, where everyone's standing, well, during the 7 years, Bardock has been helping train Goku and Raditz. Gohan, Goten, because Goten's been born. And I would even go so far as to say that Bardock and Guinea most likely would have had another kid at this point, their third child. A daughter that I have affectionately named Lettuce, or Lettuce. So I'm like, okay, what's a vegetable that hasn't been used yet? Lettuce! And it sounds vaguely feminine. And they should probably be around the same age as Goten, honestly. And that means they both can get Super Saiyan, which is all fun. Oh, God, yawning again. Jeez, all of a sudden, oh, God, I just started yawning for no reason. So that happened. But the thing I was curious of doing was, because there was no Cell games, Hercule's not the savior of the world, I was wondering if I was going to have basically Goku or Bardock or someone basically become the world martial arts champ. And I considered it. I'm like, this could add a lot of animosity between him and Videl. He'd be the son of a martial arts champ and go on again. I ultimately decided against it, though, because I think the only reason they'd be doing it was for the money. And between Bardock and Goku working the fields, I think they actually make an okay living as radish farmers. As farmers as they are. Really, Chi-Chi, trying to get them to take the money, that I think would just be like, well, why? We don't need it. And besides that, I mean, the only reason to join would be to get a good fight in. Beyond that, and there's no one who's going to be in those tournaments that's going to be able to compete with any one of you. And I think Guinea would be the one to kind of persuade Chi-Chi. Is like, yeah, there's no real point to it. Let them just have their own matches. Now, I do think they'd make it like a family outing every year, though. When the martial arts tournaments happen, they do make it a family outing where they all go and enjoy it. So kind of like their baseball game. I think you still see that, but I think Chi-Chi's kind of has to be put in her place a little bit on that. It's like, no, Chi-Chi, no. I always remember that line where it's like, what happened to the money I gave you? Oh, I spent it all. It's like, what? Now, she did say she was saving the rest of it. But, yeah, I get the impression Chi-Chi actually sucks for money. Because she was a spoiled rich kid. Anyway. So, yeah. So, really, not much happens beyond that. Now, power-wise, Bardock has Super Saiyan 3. He's also been training with some other things as well. Trying to go beyond Super Saiyan 3, but no real avail. Some efforts, but no real avail. So when that's not working, he has been working on actually perfecting Super Saiyan 3, trying to mitigate the ki loss and figuring out what's going on there. Now, for 7 years, I think he'd get close to it. Like, he can maintain Super Saiyan 3 a lot longer than he used to. Goku, I think, is the only one between him and Raditz or Gohan that has gotten Super Saiyan 3. I always contend that Goku could learn Serpent Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3. I just contend he can do that with a living body because Gotenks did it. And before anyone argues, well, that was the fusion. The fusion made him stronger, the body stronger. The fusion didn't do a damn thing. Yeah, it made their body stronger, But the fact that they could access Super Saiyan 3 in that form meant nothing because it drains the fusion even faster. So if anything, them accessing Super Saiyan 3 had nothing to do with the fusion because that ended up draining their time. It was just a matter of training and managing to go that far. That's all it was. So I do think Goku, though Goku is probably still where he was, roughly speaking, initially when he showed it off. He hasn't really done a lot of training with the form at this point. Right at Super Saiyan 2, I'd say Gohan Super Saiyan 2. Gohan's probably a little stronger than his canon self. What I mean by that is his canon cell game self. Because unlike the original series Gohan, he's actually been able to train all this time. He still gets training. Gotenks is also much stronger than he is in his canon counterpart because he gets to train with all of his relatives. Now, that being said, Reds, being the father of Trunks in this version, probably actually brings him over to train quite a bit often. So, really, not much changes in that regard. But one of the things that does change is the dynamic with Videl. And I say that because Videl, while she is the daughter of the martial arts champion, she is not the daughter of the savior of the world. And even that, then I'm like, why are the cops going to Videl, the civilian, who can at least fight, sure, but why are they going to a teenage martial artist who has no accessibilities, only because her dad is famous, to help them fight guys with semi-automatic weapons and bazookas? I get anime, and it's Dragon Ball, but even by Dragon Ball standards, that makes no freaking sense. Anywho, I don't think you get that. I think Videl wants to be helping. She wants to be out improving herself, but she's ultimately kind of confined to the school. Because Hercule isn't the savior of the world. He's still a big celebrity because he's got a big personality and all that. But he's not the world personality that he is. So, he's not the savior of the world. So, that does hamper him and Videl. I don't know why I'm yawning. I didn't think I was this tired. And I don't feel tired. I'm just yawning for no reason. So this does hamper her ability to help out. So her and Gohan, the relationship they would have, I think, would not be as salty on her part as aggressive, I guess is the best way to put it. As accusatory. That's the word I was looking for. And this is due to the fact that, she isn't as hot shit as she was initially. Now, do I think we get the Great Saiyaman? There's a good chance we could still get the Great Saiyaman. I don't like the Great Saiyaman. The Great Saiyaman was so stupid. It was so stupid. I just don't get it. Anyway. So yeah, the Great Saiyaman, he might still do that. Whatever. There's really no training for the martial. They just go to the martial arts tournament to observe. Now, Gotenks, Trunks, and Latisse, I think they're involved. I think they are. They train, they fight and duke it out. I don't think any of them have hit past Super Saiyan, or at least a perfected Super Saiyan. But that doesn't mean they're not going to give a good show or a good fight. The question is, who's going to win that fight? Is Trunks stronger than Latisse or Goten? Honestly, no. Maybe Latisse, but because she's probably the slightly younger of the two of them, between her and Goten. And apparently that did equate to a little bit of power just because he was a bit older and had a bit more experience on Trunks' side. But yeah, no, I think Latisse, and also Latisse is a pure-blooded Saiyan, unlike Trunks and Goten, who are half Saiyans. She is pure-blooded. So that does also change a little bit of how much power she might be able to generate. In theory, a half-breed has more potential, but a pureblood may have just more natural power. Just starting out. At least that's the implication I get. Now we know ultimately Goku's potential went well beyond Gohan's just because of writing and all that. But initially, no, Gohan actually had a lot more potential. That was the idea. So ultimately, who wins? I might say Goten wins the fight overall. Actually, you know what? Let's just subvert the expectations. Latisse wins. And I think it's Trunks versus Goten initially, and Trunks loses the fight, sadly, to which then goes to Goten and Latisse, and Latisse ultimately wins the fight, outdoing her slightly older brother, or older, not brother, sorry, older cousin. So then you get the actual tournament, and here is where it gets very unique. Now, I think a couple of the Z fighters still show up. I think Krillin's still doing his thing. 18 is still there because prize money, whatnot, and they're fine. They're duking it out fine. Videl doesn't train with Gohan here, so she actually just gets straight up beaten by Spopovich. Gohan's not happy about this, mind you, because he does kind of like her, but he's ultimately, there's nothing he can do about it. One of the things, though, that's I think interesting here is what is Shin and Kibito going to do? Because all the strongest fighters aren't in the tournament. They're sitting up in the rafters. Now, we do also know that Shin knew who Goku was. So I have to assume he knows who Goku and even Bardock and everyone are, because, he keeps track of those kind of things, and they could be beneficial allies to him. But the question is that how is he going to get them to, kind of get Yamu and Spopovich to do something? Well, fortunately, we do still have 18 and Krillin there, and they're well beyond the standard average of a person who would be in the tournament, 100%. I might go so far as to say maybe 17 takes a break from rangering the park. I doubt it, but honestly, we don't know what his days off are like. If he has any days off. He's married with kids, 2 of them adopted, but one of them actually his, like genetically. So we never actually even see his family. That's the kind of kicker there. Anyway, so I think they would try to go for them. Go for one of them just because they show off to be the strongest one. And, in the crowd, everyone says, what do they do? Is it Krillin? And then, Shin, they give him a Sensei, and he's all well and good. Does Piccolo participate is a good question. I'm going to probably say no. Piccolo's probably content with just hanging up at the lookout. Kami is still around. I don't see a reason for Dende to really be involved, at least at this time. But anyway, Kibito basically explains, or Kibito, Shin and Kibito, I guess, explain what the deal is, and we need your help. Please help us go. Because you could have just asked. I mean, seriously. Which, just pointing out, Shin sucked at his job. I always like to point that out because he sucked at his job. And so our main group of Z fighters, Goku, Bardock, Raditz, I think go on too. They all head out and go with Shin. Does Krillin go as well? I think his wife gives him the okay. Yeah, I believe it was 18 who gave him the okay. It's like, fine, just go, and we know she'll win, and she ultimately does beat Mr. Satan. Because Mr. Satan doesn't know anything about these guys. So there's that. So she could extort him again. She could, because he was scared of her. Absolutely, because he knew just how strong she ultimately was. Because he could connect the dots. Because he's actually not stupid. So I guess she could extort. Either way, he either wins or she gets them. Whatever. Anyway, so they fly off. They get Spopovich and Yamu. The Yamu and Spopovich land. They are hiding out on the ridge. And ultimately, Deborah and the gang see them. They kill Spopovich and Yamu. He, comes in, blasts Kibito, and then spits on Krillin. And I'll say Raditz gets hit by the spit in this, and they turn to stone. And he hightails it back in the ship, and they're like, what? And it's like, if we can defeat Deborah, we'll be able to restore them. Let's go. And so they go in the ship. Gohan, I think, gets the first crack at Pui Pui. Beats his ass pretty quick. Goku does get Yakon. That goes the same. Bardock versus Deborah. So Bardock goes Super Saiyan. They're clashing. He goes Super Saiyan 2, and immediately is pressing the advantage. He's stronger than either Canon Goku or Canon Vegeta, but so is Goku stronger than him. At this point, Goku has surpassed his father base form-wise, which means he surpassed his father power level-wise. But his father's still got a couple tricks up his sleeve. So they're duking it out. Ultimately, though Bardock is much more of a warrior and more cutthroat than Goku is, So he is actually what takes out Deborah, which revives Krillin and Raditz. Now, how much energy do they get from Krillin of all people for Boo? Probably not much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Boo is probably hovering like at a 5% overall, but did not get a lot of energy from them. No, because we know Gohan's full Super Saiyan 2 at that point was assuming they didn't get any extra energy. 50% of Boo's base power. So I doubt Krillin is at anything more than maybe like 5% at that point. And so Bobby's like, no, Deborah! There must be another way to get to them. And he's trying to sense out any evil or anything out of these guys. And unfortunately, he can't. So they eventually, Bobby's like, I can release him. If Boo were maybe at 50% or more, maybe I could release him. But I can't do it at only 5%. That's right, Bobbity. You can't. They blast a hole through the ceiling / roof, ceiling / the floor, and finally Mega's like, "No, Kai, you will not stop my father's work. You cannot stop it." And Gohan just, it's like, well, Gohan's like, what? It's like, what? We had to take. we were planning to take him out. I mean, were you planning to kill him? Well, I mean, perhaps, but well, either way, and just using Kai techniques just keeps him incapacitated. And they take Boo out of there, and the Boo saga ends pretty effectively. When there's no one to really kind of go Majin, and Deborah's killed, there's really nothing stopping the Boo saga. So that leads us into Super. There's a couple more months that pass by. Everyone's kind of all happy. Hell, I could actually see, because they do know the instant transmission in this version, Goku and Bardock kind of just training on King Kai's planet. And then, you have Raditz and everyone else sitting, on Bulma's ship, waiting for Bulma's birthday. Beerus obviously wakes up. Hello there, Kai. It's like, tell me, you're hiding some Saiyans, You're hiding some Saiyans back there. And Bardock probably doesn't know who Beerus is. At best, maybe he once heard his name. At best. So, who are you? I'm Lord Beerus, the destroyer god of the 7th universe. Your universe. It's like, show him some respect, you idiots! Well, sorry, I've never heard of him. It's not surprising. Your King Vegeta was a bit frightened of me. I doubt he would have mentioned me, except in passing. Still, there's just one thing we gotta know. Are you really strong? I am probably one of the strongest beings you'll ever meet. Do you think I could maybe go toe-to-toe with you? Even Bar's like, really? Now? It's like, come on, Dad. I mean, how many times do we get to go up against the gods? In all my time, I've never heard such a request. Why not? And so, Bardock is just like, fine. And Bardock knows Goku is stronger overall. Although Bardock does have one ace in his hole to surpass Goku, but he just can't control it very well right now. There is one other thing I might address. I'll address in this part because I'll get to it to show off. So anyway, the fight goes pretty similar. Goku tries to base nothing, Super Saiyan nothing, Super Saiyan 2 nothing, Super Saiyan 3, Beerus at least indulges him and blocks him a little bit. He's a little stronger than he was canon, so Beerus puts a little bit more effort. Well, I must admit, you are impressive. Tell me, you're this Saiyan's father. Brother? Well, that's kind of you, but no, I'm his father. Oh, I did. And he explains, I was dead for 20 years. Oh, that explains it then. So tell me, are you stronger than your offspring? As he just puts Goku in the ground. Not quite, but if you're looking for a better fight, there is one thing we can offer you, but you're gonna have to heal my son up first. Oh, really? You can offer me a better challenge? I'm curious about this. Whis? It's like, of course. Boop. It's like, oh man, I may have held back a little bit, but I couldn't even do a darn thing against you. Your father tells me that you have one other trick up your sleeves to offer me a bit of a challenge. It's like, what? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, you mean you want to try that? It's like, why not? We never had to use it up until now. It's a good way to try it out. We practiced enough times to know we got it down. It's like, well, it can't hurt. It's like, what are you two planning exactly? And even Whis is like, because Whis can just see that. Oh, I think as soon as they get in their stance, just you see where this is going. It's like, Ooh, this should be interesting. Whis, you know what they're doing? Ah, I have, but why ruin the surprise? Fusion! Ah, and then they feel the power hike, like even Beerus, because then now these two together far eclipse Super Saiyan 3 of either of their forms. First off, what's Bardock and Kakarot going to be? Because it was Vegito and then Gogeta. And that actually tells you who's the more dominant personality in those fusions. Gogeta it's clearly Goku's the more dominant personality because he starts his name with Go, as in Goku, and then Jita for Vegeta. But with Vegito, it was clearly more Vegeta because it's Vegeta's the first name, but Kakaroto is Goku's actual Saiyan name. So we'll go with Goku as the first name for the Bardock fusion. So Godock? Godock's okay. Trick we picked up in the afterlife. I'm no longer Goku or Bardock. You can call me Godock. And so he's got and he just basically looks like Goku, except he's still got. So he looks like Bardock is what he does. Nothing's changed. I see. You definitely are. Bears actually has a bit of a grizzly. You definitely are a bit more of a challenge. Perhaps not a bit more of a worthy adversary. Although no, you're no god, but you may definitely suffice. And so, they go again, except now, base Godock is definitely a lot, or Gokok? No, not Gokok. Gokok! Rated G for kids. Oh God, can you imagine if that had been the case? Godock. Let's stay with Godock. Or Gokodok. No, let's stay with Godock. Anyway, so it's like I said, they kind of just eclipse Super Saiyan 3, or at least their base is at least a bit stronger than Super Saiyan 3, because we don't know how the multipliers of Fusion really work, but we can assume it is some sort of multiplier or an addition multiplier, something like that. I think I once did it to some degree. We know that Platara is definitely more like multiplication than it is addition. The fusion dance, who knows? Anyway, they're clashing, and Beerus again is actually putting an effort. He actually even gets as so tell me, can you do all the transformations your former forms could do? And he goes into Super Saiyan, which luckily doesn't drain the fusion that much. Because, again, they practice. But they acknowledge that we can, but unfortunately it drains the fusion time pretty quick to use the higher form. So whether we win or not, let's keep this gradual. And then, he goes to Super Saiyan, to which Beerus is actually having a lot of fun now. You actually can put up a good fight. And then it goes to Super Saiyan 2, actually cracks a shot on Beerus' jaw. He doesn't feel it. He even against Super Saiyan guys, I don't even feel it. But still, he was like, ugh. And Beerus said, let's see if you got any more. Really nails Godock. And just finally goes Super Saiyan 3. This one's going to last more than a minute, and they just clash real quick. Just boom! And he's like, you're going to destroy my planet again. That didn't happen in this version. Like, don't worry, we'll fix any damages that happen. Oh, bless you, Whis. And finally, the fight ends with Godock landing in a crater on the ground and just defusing. Oh! It's like, well, I must admit, that was quite entertaining. I haven't had that much fun in a while. Sadly, though, the Super Saiyan God isn't here. But you should have said there were more Saiyans on Earth. Say, oh, wait, what are you? And, Whis actually says, thank you for entertaining Lord Beerus. Boop, boop, heal him up. And they quickly go there, instant transmission, and they tell them what's going to happen. We're at 23 minutes. We can keep going for a little bit longer. So, real quick, has Gohan ended up with Videl? Probably not in the same. They're not married, and she's not even pregnant with a kid. But maybe they're dating at this point, and she had to get used to everything around her, mind you. But she eventually got used to it. I don't think Mr. Satan's there though. I just don't see that happening. Boo's not there, but we have Raditz, we have Trunks, we have Goten, we have Latisse, we have Gine, we have Bardock, we have Goku, and you know what? Let's just say Brosborn too. We have 8 Saiyans to choose from. The God Ritual happens, no problem. Beerus shows up. They're able to, first off relax for a little bit and explain, use the Dragon Balls, everything's good. They get their fight. Goku gets to be the god again. Bardock would follow in suit and basically go the Vegeta route. I think Raditz would also. I don't know if everyone would try to follow the God route, because I just don't know if Gohan really has an interest in that. He didn't in the original, so I don't know if he would here. But at least the three of them would go and try to learn the God key stuff. And so that is ultimately, I think, where we're going to end it at the 25-minute mark. We'll catch up next time with the Resurrection F arc, if that happens. Which, honestly, because Vegeta is running the show on that front, I don't know if I don't know if there's going to be like some ragtag individuals who decide not to let that happen and like to just be to betray him. Honestly, I think the fact that we haven't had, I mean, it took them that long just to find Earth and get the Dragon Balls anyway. But the fact that they also have another ruler and they'd have to hide Frieza being reborn, I'm actually going to go with saying the Resurrection F arc just doesn't happen. So we'll actually catch up with the Universe 6 tournament in the next part. And honestly, given where we're at now, we'll probably finish this up in the next episode, which actually makes me happy because now I can actually write out my schedule for next week in full. So thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I will see you folks next time. Later.